Williams. I'm a legal citizen of the United States and of Carpentersville, Illinois. I had a stroke about 3 months ago. I take several medications, and I just wish you'd bear with me a little bit, and if I go over a little bit, please grant me that courtesy.
We'll see how it goes. Go ahead.
Well, if it turns into a debate, this might go on until 10 o'clock.
That's
Not on my behalf.
right. That's what we don't want to see happen. So let's go ahead.
There's some things that I'm going to bring up in here that I think that should be said, has to be said, and should have been said a long time ago. And to some limited degree, it should have been addressed by this board and the boards across this country. And it's called the illegal immigration. I'm going to touch on that a little bit tonight, just a little. I was brought up to be respectful to all races, creeds, colors, and people. That's how I was brought up, to be a good American, period. I come from a good family, to a couple left turns in my life, but that was on me. But here's the gist of what I have to say, and the best way that I could put it together in a matter of a few minutes. Like I said, my name is Michael Williams. I am 7th generation citizen of this country. My children are 8th generation of this country. No matter what I'm about to say here tonight, no matter how clear I say it, there will be some who will call me a racist, etc., etc., and I'm sure it's going to happen. I am exercising my First Amendment right of the Constitution of the United States of America. It's called freedom of speech.
Mike, can I interrupt you just for a moment?
Yes, sir.
Actually, we have new rules that we adopted for the board, and the things that we have actually deemed appropriate to speak about from the public comments are things that directly affect the village.
I think they would directly affect the village, sir.
Well, what I mean by that are things that we have some control over. So, you know, when you start talking about illegal immigration, those are issues that really go beyond our realm. So I'm just cautioning you that, you know, we do have rules that we have adopted that would probably preclude what you're going to say.
Well, sir, I'll tell you what. If you don't like what I'm saying, I still have the right by the Constitution of this country to say it. Whether you agree with me, disagree with me, I mean, this happens all over.
I'm not arguing the point that you have the right to say it. I'm just saying that you don't necessarily have the right to say it here. I mean, you may have a right to say it, you know, in other forums. You may have a right to write a letter to the editor. You know, there's other ways to express your freedoms. This is a meeting to do village business. So that's.
Hey, sir, this is village business. This is not a joke. This is village business. This is village business. Period.
President Sarto, can I just point out something? There are municipalities across the United States that are enacting laws relative to illegal aliens, and I can point to Hazleton, Pennsylvania, as being so. I kind of take exception when you say it doesn't affect us at a local level. I think it does.
It does.
Well, the immigration laws are federal laws. They are not.
No, states, municipalities are passing laws for conduct within and ordinances within their municipality.
It's on the news every day.
Yes, there's.
Blue Dobbs, he'll tell you.
Right. There's things that municipalities can and can't do, but the point is that the issue of illegal immigration is really a federal issue, because the federal laws dictate the policy of who is allowed to come into this country and who isn't.
That is untrue, totally untrue. And if I had my books here with me, I'd show you how untrue that is.
Excuse me, President Sarto, if
Sure.
I might say something. My opinion is that this would personally affect our village, being that we are over 45% Hispanic, and also I
For
would just
40%.
we're higher than that.
We're not.
And I would just like to also say that, and no offense to you, but I hope he's not held to the 5 minutes now because of all the discussion going on. I believe he has a right to say what he wants, and I have been watching the news, and there's more than just Hazleton, Pennsylvania. There's more than one municipality that is starting to take action because our federal government is not moving on the issue.
Mr. President, please.
Yes, trustee.
Terry, could you start the clock at 5 minutes? Give him 5 minutes to starting time and then move on from there. It's been going on for 7 or 8 minutes already.
Well, President Sarto has taken up.
That's why I said
Well,
start the clock at
I mean,
5 minutes.
we did adopt rules, and I'm trying to abide by the decorum that we,
And those rules
that
are-
we voted.
Just to say, if
First,
we can
first
let
of
him-
all, outbursts from the back of the room will not be tolerated, so I just want you to know that also.
There is just too many restrictions on what an American can say and what he can say, and that's why this country is in trouble. Is what this trouble is all about? Is because Americans can't stand up and say what is in their heart. They've got the right to do it. Damn it! I'm 8th generation American here. I'm not some person that just walked across the border. It seems like they have more constitutional rights than I do. So let me please say what I have to say. Get out of here. I haven't bothered you people in 7 or 8 months. And by God, I should have. I am exercising my First Amendment right of the Constitution of the United States of America. It's called freedom of speech. I am Polish. If you're Polish and you're in the United States illegally, I want you to go back to Poland. I'm making a point here. It doesn't make any difference if you're Polish, German, Mexican, or who you are. If you're not here legally, I want you gone, period. In the United States, illegally, I want you to go back to Poland. If you are not a legal citizen of the United States, you do not have anything, in quotation, coming to you or your families, period. And most certainly, you do not have the right to demand anything of the United States or its legal citizens. Emphasis added, like citizenship, which you do not deserve to have in the first place, period. What makes these 20 million plus illegals? I'm not talking about Mexicans. I'm talking about all illegals. I hear we have a Polish problem with the illegal immigration. And I speak to them as well, and they're my culture, okay? Plus the illegals, they think they can sneak in like cowards across the borders and do what they want. And we're just supposed to accept it. Wrong. They come here for one reason, and one reason only, to make the money to send back home. When they have enough, they can go back home, buy a little ranch, etc., etc. Why don't they stay in their own country and fight for what they want and need in their own country? I'll tell you why. Because all they have to do is come to the United States without a fight. I know firsthand that at least 90% of all drugs in the United States comes directly from Mexico. Trustee Linda Sliwinski, I've heard from countless citizens and even board members alike that Ms. Sliwinski brings up almost every board that we should do more for the illegals, and she herself have done these things to help illegals. Her job is supposed to represent the people of Carpentersville, Illinois. Her present position is scandalous and disgraceful.
Mr. Williams,
Yes.
you're violating another one of our rules. We also have adopted a rule not to allow anyone to attack any member of the board individually.
Well, here's how it goes. You're going to hear it firsthand from me. I want her removed, and so do hundreds of other people want her removed from her seat. This is not her forum to discuss helping illegals in this country either. But yet she brings it up at board meetings all the time, because I hear it all the time. And if she can bring it up, that leaves the door open for any citizen to bring it up. And that's unfair, and that's court of law. I know law. I studied it for 8 years, both federal and state. Want to know why? Because I was incarcerated for 10 years. And by God, I'm glad I was in prison for those 10 years. So if she can talk about it, I can talk about it. She leaves the door wide open. I want to go.